Welcome to Stage Left with Lou. I am your host, Lewis Schulvok, but everyone calls me Lou. And today I am joined by probably one of my best friends on Beauty and the Beast. He is amazing and one of Australia's newest musical theatre leading men in the industry. Brendan Xavier, welcome to Stage Left with Lou.
Hi, Lulu.
I'm stoked that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
When I was thinking of doing this pod, you were one of the first people that I thought of.
Oh my gosh.
And because we have lots of fat chats, the two of us, I thought it would be time to record one and
Yeah.
put it out to the world.
Yeah, I'm nervous. Nah, it's good.
Don't be nervous, it's just me. Can you tell me, because I know that your journey in theatre started a lot later than most people's does. Can you tell me where music and theatre kind of sat in your childhood and upbringing, and then how the kind of passion for theatre ignited?
It's actually so funny. I was talking about this with someone the other day that it was always so instinctual. I remember coming back from watching Hairspray, like the movie, and feeling like ill, like feeling like sick about something about it. And my sister felt the same, and we had this sort of like similar experience with it, that there was something that was so moving about it, or that like really resonated with us, and we couldn't really quite place it. But then it's odd because I'd never sang growing up. Like we were such a music household that like the music was always playing, and you know that I love music and I love curating music. But I never sang. Like none of my family ever heard me sing, ever did anything. My sister was the more performing sort of person in my family. But then I would always just end up in a musical. Like in high school, there was that we did The Wiz in like year 7, and there was no boys in my grade auditioning, but then I did. And then everyone in my family like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just doing it. And then even now when I try and think about why I did it, I can't explain why I did it. And then
Just
there was
felt
like,
right.
yeah, it just felt
Yeah.
like it's something that I needed to do. And
Was there
none
pressure?
of my
Right.
none of my friends auditioned. No one asked me to audition. No one told me to do it. And then I was just standing in front of the panel of the people trying to sing a song that when I'd never sung before, but like there was something drawing me to that world and I didn't know it. So like all throughout high school, it just kept drawing me there. And obviously I was like sort of like quite big on sports in high school still, and really focusing on that more. But it was always like I was always just doing things.
Like an underlying thing that was there.
It was like something was
forever.
pulling me towards it, like some universal kind of thing. And it's unexplainable. Like I can't explain why I did it. It just was happening.
So then what was the switch? When and why did that
Switch came up like after high school. Like
Right.
I didn't have like singing lessons or formal anything during high school, and then I was like in music class and I was like kind of failing because I didn't have an instrument. So my teacher told me that I should be a singer. So then she sort of conditioned that kind of transition, I guess. And then like gave me musical songs to learn, and like from Les Mis specifically. And then so then I did that for my like higher education kind of HSC stuff. And then she was the one that kind of was pushed me towards singing, and then I ended up just like kind of falling in love with it. And then me and a couple of mates heard about because we just like Les Mis. It was at the time that the movie came out and everything. And then we heard that a girls' school in like the inner west of Sydney were doing Les Mis, and they needed boys to like fill the roles. And we were like 17, 18 at the time. I was 17. And then we just went to this random girls' school, PLC, and auditioned, and we all got leading roles, and I got Jean Valjean, and that was basically the first time my family had ever heard me sing. But that was like after high school, like that was like 3 or 4 months after I graduated. And then
how did they react to that?
Oh, they were like blown away. They'd never heard me sing, and then obviously like doing Jean Valjean at 18 is quite ridiculous. I had like grey hair wig and talcum powder in my beard, and so it was just silly. But they were all just bawling their eyes out and crying, and they were. I think it squashed any doubts they had about me even talking about joining the industry, because they just were like, oh, you can do this, you can sing, even though we'd never heard you sing, not even in the shower, not even in the car. Like I was quiet as a church mouse growing up. So
when you finished school, what was the plan then?
landscaping.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you did a little bit of?
Yeah. I think in between auditioning, like I think coming out of high school, I wanted to study music, so I did that for a little while, but I sort of decided that wasn't for me. And then I left that school and just worked. I worked doing landscaping. I worked in a cinema. And yeah, all the while auditioning for things and doing things.
And then you landed your first pro gig
Yeah,
in Squabologics, the original Grease.
yeah, correct. It was my first like real sort of paid gig in the industry.
Was it kind of what you had expected? Or I guess, did you have any expectations of what it would be like, considering that you hadn't gone to a big school like WAPA or VCA and like you hadn't been kind of taught what to expect?
Yeah, I think not having any expectations has always helped me in this industry. I think that when you're conditioned at a young age to be a performer and to learn how to dance and act, you like put all of these pressures on yourself. Whereas I was just like there for the ride. Like I was like I had no expectations. I had no kind of prerequisite about how it was going to be or what I was going to be doing. I was just like I just turned up. I tried to do a good job. And if I wasn't doing a good job, I was trying to be better. But everything that I've ever really learned is on the job.
Yeah.
So I'm always constantly learning, constantly trying to be better. Yeah, but it's always been that way for me that I can land a job and then I learn how to do it when I get there. Yeah.
Which is so interesting to me because I feel like when people audition now, they feel like they have to showcase that they're already very much able to do the job at a very high standard, or they're not going to book the role or book the
100%.
show.
I think that's still a lot of people's detriment as well, because if you go into an audition room and you've fully fleshed out a character and you've fully created this version of something, and not to say that you shouldn't be skilled or you shouldn't be whatever going into something, because you should be. You should be at a base level be able to do what is required of you with the show that you're auditioning for. But I always walk in and I want to showcase the best that I've got, and then really listen to them when they tell me to change something. Because I think that's the biggest thing that a director looks for or a choreographer looks for, is that if they tell you to do something, you do it exactly the way that they want you to do it. Because then it shows them that you're willing to learn and you're willing to take criticism, you're willing to take notes, because there's nothing worse than an actor who can't take a note, which I've been guilty of. Like, sometimes,
everybody has.
sometimes you just don't agree with a note or can't, conceptualize it in your head. But yeah, I really go into an audition room and I make the conscious effort to know that I'm not always right about my choices. So I present the best version of what I've got, but it's not polished, it's not perfect, but I show them exactly what I want to show them. And then when they tell me to change it, I do. I change it fundamentally to its core.
Yeah.
And it always works. It always
I love that.
they always respond to it really well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's important. It is. So you did the original Grease and then you went onto a ship with Royal
Caribbean
as a featured singer.
as a featured vocalist.
What ship? What was the itinerary?
It was Quantum of the Seas. We were based out of Shanghai and Beijing. And we sailed around Japan mostly.
What show is that? Is that the Showgirl
We
one?
did Sequins and Feathers. And we did oh my gosh, it's called Sonic Odyssey. Oh my gosh. And there's like this huge harp that like stretches over the entire theater, and this like man plays
That's
the harp.
cool.
It was so interesting.
It's pretty sick what they can do on the ships now.
Yeah.
Anytime I see footage of the shows, I'm just like a
They're
little
crazy.
bit blown away now that
Yeah.
you're doing that in the middle of the ocean.
And then add the element of like the ship rocking, because I had like a flying section of my
Right.
song where I had to like go up in a harness and do some little flippies while I was singing to it, like a Chris Brown song, which is iconic in and of
It
itself.
is iconic.
It's iconic. But but then sometimes you're just swaying with the ocean, and sometimes you can't do the flips. But I had some of the best times of my life on that ship. I've like made lifelong friends. I learned some hard lessons, because like existing with the same group of people on a ship.
How
for
long
like
was your ship?
9 months, I
Right.
think 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So it was
A long time.
really long contract. And yeah, you just get a bit of cabin fever. You even if you disagree with someone, you have to sit with them and eat with them and perform with them all the time. And we had really quick turnarounds. Like we were doing 4-day cruises, so that means that we were just performing non-stop.
Yeah.
Which was hard, but like I wouldn't change it for the world. I had a
Mhm.
really wonderful time, and I made like amazing friends that I still
Yeah.
talk to, that I still like travel to Argentina to see, or
Mhm.
so it was so worth it.
So then next was Frozen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they kind of reached out to me to audition when I was on the ship
Right.
because there were people in the creative team, like Benjamin Osborne specifically, that
Mhm.
remembered me auditioning for Aladdin.
Great.
And I think they were having trouble finding someone that fits Kristoff or like that cover as well. So then they asked me to send in a tape, and I did. I recorded it
While
in
you were
like
on the ship?
while on the ship. I was like recorded it in a fire escape exit, like in the hull
Whatever
of a ship.
corner you can
Yeah,
find. Absolutely.
exactly. And they liked it. And then as soon as I got back home from the ship, I went straight into the final round of Frozen. And then I booked it, and then COVID happened, so it was up and down. But yeah, that started my Disney journey.
And that was like the first big touring musical that you did.
Yeah, first
really?
proper long running big musical that I've ever been a part of. Because Squad Logic, the Grease, I think was like a little under a month. So
Yeah, right. A quickie.
yeah,
for
very
sure.
quick. Yeah,
So you started in Frozen in the ensemble.
yeah.
How long was that?
I was in the ensemble pretty much the entire tour, except
Like
for right at the end.
2.5 years? 2 years?
Yeah, I was in the ensemble for like a little under 2 years, and
Yeah.
then took
Covering
over
Kristoff?
covering Kristoff.
And then you took over the role of Kristoff for the Singapore season.
Yeah,
What was that like?
it was so great. I loved being in the ensemble. I loved being around boys, the boys in that group, and it was really fun, and I made like some really great friends. But I was like, oh, I hate to say it, but I was a bit of a hunger study. I was like, I loved that role with a passion, and I really wanted to play it. Um I just felt like really comfortable doing it. It felt so easy. Like when
Yeah.
I was on for Kristoff, it felt like a break.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I could relax into
Natural.
it.
And
Yeah,
there's
it felt
roles
really
that feel
natural.
like that.
But then the ensemble taught me so much. Like I wasn't really like a dance trained or anything growing up. So that was my dance training, and I was in a dance track. So
Mhm.
learning that was incredible, and I had so many patient dance partners that were amazing, like Tanika, who you'll have on your podcast as
Yeah.
well. She was incredible. And she taught me so much. So that was really fun. But yeah, as soon as I took over, everything just kind of felt right. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. So like having my own space to like prepare for a show, to warm up, to like just sit in silence. And because you know me, I get to the theater at a seemingly early hour.
Yep.
Before
Yep.
everyone else. And I just like that. I like that quiet time. I like just getting to prepare on my own terms. And I feel like that's kind of hard in an ensemble dressing room with
Absolutely.
people and energy around. And not
Yeah.
to say it's not great, because it is. It's a different energy. But yeah, I'm just
Absolutely.
more suited to the quiet sort of isolated aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So from Frozen then,
Mm.
where we are now,
Mhm.
you're playing the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Crazy.
Yeah.
What was that process like? Did you feel pressure going from one Disney show to another? And when you were auditioning, you were still in the ensemble of Frozen, weren't you? You hadn't moved into
Yeah.
Kristoff.
We had just finished Adelaide. Like I got Kristoff after I got the Beast.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just finished Adelaide season, and transitioning from Adelaide to Perth, we had the auditions, and basically the entire time we were off, well, we were auditioning. So I was meant to go on a trip to Bali, and then halfway through the auditions, they were like, "You're not going to Bali," and I was like, "I'm not going to Bali." So I knew pretty early that they were keen on me to stay and to do the material and to keep workshopping with the directors that were there. And I had a great time auditioning. Like it was such a fun experience for me. I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't feel that pressure
That's great.
transitioning from one show to the other.
Uh-huh.
I always think that if you get a show, if you don't get a show, it's the right path for you.
Absolutely.
And then something else will present, or it's for reasons unknown. So I really try and accept that as much as possible. So I wasn't really banking on it. And the Beast was not a character that I really thought that I would ever be playing in my life. I just felt like it was nice that they were seeing me.
Yeah.
And I did. I talked to my agents beforehand, and I was like, now that I've had the experience in the ensemble, I really want to um, go into auditions with them knowing what I want. And what I want is to not dance that much and to really be a lead, like a
Yeah.
leading actor. And they were on board. They were like, yep, definitely. We see that for you and we agree and we want you to do that. So then we approached Beauty and the Beast with that mentality, being like, we don't want Brendan to be considered for the ensemble, which I could not do anyway in this show because it is mental. I couldn't dance like 5 minutes in this show. And Disney were on board. They were like, great. What does he want to come in for? And so we sort of decided, like we want to do the Beast material. Like he's got a beautiful song, and we can play with the scenes, and that's exactly what we did in the auditions. I sang the song, and we played with the scenes, and then 5 or 6 separate days of doing that later, I felt really confident. It was one of the first times I ever walked out of an audition being like, I think I got that.
And that's the best feeling.
Which is nuts.
Ever.
It's so weird.
It's so good.
And then my mum has a bit of a sixth sense as well. So she was like, I think you've booked it too. And I was like, well, there it is. That's the
And you
that's
did.
the game. And I did.
And here we are.
What
is your favourite thing about playing the Beast?
I love the arc. I love the story arc. I think that he has a beautiful journey. I think he's just a normal human being. Like humans can make mistakes. Humans can do the wrong thing and be one way. And the beautiful thing about being human and humanity is that we can change and we can evolve and we can create and love and move into new chapters of our lives. We do it constantly. Like I'm a different person to I was last week than I am now, you know? Yeah. So I think that's a really nice thing that this seemingly irredeemable character who has all of these sort of negative traits that can be seen as quite toxic and aggressive and controlling, and he can be reflective and he can take a moment to really understand that and move into a new version of himself, influenced by love and influenced by the family that he has in the castle and the motivation to try and save them, to try and be better, but also to love someone the way that they should be. And I think that that's my favorite part of it. But it's hard. It's a hard role. It's a hard role to play vocally, physically, mentally. Like it's a difficult one, but I think it feels good. It feels rewarding every night having done that journey. Yeah.
What considering that you've now done 2 long-running tours, what has been different in your approach, considering one was in the ensemble for most of the time and one is like the leading man of the show? Like name in the title of the show.
I think I got some really good advice from Gemma Riggs. Sorry, just dropped that name out there. But she took me to breakfast and while I was in Frozen and sort of gave me some really great advice. And that advice was to just like rely on your friends outside of work. And I've got a beautiful network of family and friends outside of work. And I adore them. I talk to them constantly. They're my support network. And she said to keep that really strong so that work doesn't become your only support network. It doesn't become your entire existence. And I think that was really important to me. Transitioning because like in Frozen, it was during lockdown as well, so we were all kind of together on tour and we were all just trying to survive together. So then we just became like quite reliant on that and that
as you do. I mean, that's natural in like every company.
But
you spend so much time together.
And it's natural to create friendships. I mean, like we've created a beautiful friendship and one of my other best friends, Anthony Garcia, who I met on Beauty and the Beast, like, you know, but then now he's become part of my network outside of the show, which is great in and of itself. And then similarly during Frozen, like Blake Applequist, like their friendship that I have with them has just transcended all of both of our different phases of life, which has been so nice to have. So yeah, I think that's the main difference is that I've like kind of just changed my approach in existing in the building. Like I'm not a hermit. Like I don't just sit in my room go full method actor.
Mhm. But it is different to being in the ensemble and
Yeah.
balancing working with a lot of people. I feel like, especially in your track, you don't work with every single person in the company for the whole show.
Yeah.
Whereas the ensemble, at least in Beauty and the Beast, we're very kind of codependent on each other at all times.
Yes, exactly. Which is why then I try and make the effort to, although I do prioritize work and prioritize like showing up to the theater and doing my job, but then I have to actively go and find people and
Hmm.
talk to people and see people outside of work, which becomes hard sometimes. But then you get to do it on your terms. But then you can also, you also like have a more actively, you know, continuing these relationships rather than
Yeah.
just existing in the same room with someone. You have to, by proxy, um, be friends with them. Whereas like I'm choosing to be friends with people. I'm choosing to have lunch with this person. I'm choosing to like go kick a footy in between shows with this person or play Rummy Cup, which we're all doing at work at the moment. Not sponsored by Rummy Cup, but
Could be.
yeah, we could be. But yeah, it's just different. I think I can now play more of an active part and like have more quality time with people rather
Yeah.
than just exist with them.
Yeah. I have one more question for you, a
Yeah.
quickie.
Mhm.
Obviously, Kristoff and the Beast are really iconic characters that everybody knows and loves.
Mhm.
How do you balance paying tribute to them and staying true to the characters that people love, whilst also trying to bring yourself to these roles?
I think it's knowing the material. Like I grew up such a Disney kid.
Hmm.
So I know these characters so well. And if
Yeah.
I was sitting in an audience watching this show, I'd want to feel elements of that character still there.
Hmm.
So I think that helped me a lot. Also in saying that, I think my Kristoff was quite easy for me to find.
Yeah.
Like I think I can be pretty chill and more stoically quiet and helpful as well,
Hmm.
which is all the things that Kristoff is. He's just like acts of service,
Yeah.
quiet, like more of an observer, which, all of those things I was like, that's just me. All throughout this whole show, all I can do is just focus on whoever's playing Anna, and
Yeah.
it was perfect because then it's not a selfish character. But then with the Beast, it's just different. Like he's so intrinsic, like he's so internal, like everything is within him. So that was a big challenge for me. But then um I think I try and honor the cartoon by just having the essence of the character there. I
Hmm.
mean, it's hard to act like a 7-foot animal
Yeah.
with the voice of a 40-year-old,
Hmm.
trying to be a 25-year-old. So I think I change it a lot by being younger,
Hmm.
but then I just keep the essence. I keep like the softness of that of when the Beast really does that switch. I try and honor that softness and that just relaxed kind of version of him, because I think that's the most beautiful part of him. He's like this Jekyll and Hyde character where like
Ah,
he explodes, but then when he's gentle, it's really lovely, and yeah. So I think I just try and know the material and honor them that way.
that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting to me today.
Thank you so much.
If people want to follow you and follow your journey, where is the best way to support you and follow you?
Probably Instagram, Brendan.Xavier. That's where I post most of my things. So
Hmm.
give us a follow the journey. But yeah.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much. This was so lovely.
Thank you for watching this podcast episode. Make sure you're following Stage Left with Lou at Stage Left with Lou on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one.